Namastê, galera! Depois da nossa incrível experiência com os gorilas em Virunga e a exaustiva subida do vulcão Nyiragongo, nós viemos para o Quênia. Um dos mais famosos safaris da África começa aqui, na região Maasai Mara. Maasai também é o nome das tribos que habitam essas planícies por aqui. Por aqui a gente também espera encontrar os Big Five, que é como são chamados os 5 principais animais de safari aqui da África. O búfalo, o elefante, o leão, o rinoceronte e o leopardo.
Maasai Mara is one of prime game reserves in Africa because this is the only place you'll see the animals up close. Other national parks in Africa, you'll find animals are very far away. What is the meaning of Mara?
Maasai
is
the name of the tribe, yeah?
The name of the tribe.
Yes.
People who live here. Of course, that makes sense. Mara means spotted or mottled. Spotted or mottled. If you look, for example, here, you'll see there is a decoration of some bushes and the savannah. Bushes and the savannah. That was what Mara means. That is one of the 30 adjectives the Maasais used to describe a cow. Because a cow is not one color. You'll find some cows have multiple colors. Maybe black and brown, maybe brown and white, maybe white and brown, and so on. So the Maasai use one of the adjectives to describe a cow is Mara. And that's what is referred to when you talk about this place. The Maasai is the tribe, Mara is the place. Now you know.
A reserva Maasai Mara possui mais de 1.600 km² no total, começando aqui no Quênia e indo até a Tanzânia, onde encontra o Parque Nacional do Serengeti, formando o maior corredor de migração aqui da África.
Anyway, you look at this animal. Some people say it's made of the leftovers. That God used the leftovers to make these animals, to create these animals. And if you look at him properly, the beard looks like a horse beard. The head looks like a bison, the front head. The horns look like a buffalo. The body looks like a cow. The tail looks like a horse's tail. And how about the legs? They look like an antelope. Who am I? Call me a wildebeest. When you talk about wildebeest, you're talking about the ecosystem. Which ecosystem? The Serengeti ecosystem. Because they start from there, they come all the way but down here, and they go back. Do they go back the whole group? The whole herd who gets back to Serengeti? No. Between 5 and 8% die. How do they keep the number? How do they still have to come back the following year? Yes, they breed. When they go back to Serengeti, they top up that number. There are always 1.5 million. Animals come here to feed on this grass we see over here. This grass is not always short. This grass is tall up to almost half of this vine. We call this grass red oat grass. This is what brings the wildebeest to the Mara every year. Crossing from the Serengeti all the way to Maasai Mara and back to the Serengeti. Why do they do that? They go back to the Serengeti, which is their main home, for breeding. They come back to Masai Mara for feeding. The grass you see has been brought down by these animals. Like I said earlier, one wildebeest can eat as much as a cow can feed on for 4 days. You see, go to the Mara River and you are like, oops, this is the crossing point. You switch off your engine, you wait for some time. You might be quite patient to wait for the crossing, but for sure you'll see the crossing. You'll see lots of wildebeest jumping into the river, and yes, the crocodiles, they make a kill. And it's a spectacle of a lifetime.
Nós estamos agora a 3 metros de um leão que está se alimentando de uma zebra ali naquele arbusto.
There you are.
Cara, olha aquilo ali, que legal.
You got it? It's facing right direct, facing us directly. Wants to pull it towards the
Olha que incrível
shade.
aquilo ali, cara, que incrível.
Push it towards the shade. This guy has the collar. Probably the researchers are working on it. Yeah.
Acabamos de encontrar mais uma família de leões aqui no Masai Mara. Dessa vez são 6 na família, 2 adultos machos, 2 fêmeas e 2 filhotes. Nosso guia recebeu a informação aqui pelo rádio de que tem um leopardo se alimentando de uma gazela que provavelmente foi caçada agora de manhã, e ele está em cima de uma árvore e a gente está indo lá conferir para ver se a gente consegue avistar o nosso último Big Five aqui no Masai Mara. Vamos lá, tomara que a gente consiga ver.
So, in general, We don't have so many cheetahs in the Mara. We might have enough to see around, but not as many as we used to have in the past. If we can take history back in 1970s, we used to have so many cheetahs. You would see up to about 8 together. Now, if a leopard is not moving and is just laying somewhere, he could probably have a kill somewhere.
Yes.
Well, every game drive has its own interests. As we go back last year, while we were doing a group with a game drive with a group of photographers, we were waiting for the crossing just somewhere around about here, and the leopard was stalking a crocodile. We didn't know. We didn't even see the leopard, but we saw a crocodile trying to swim across to a small area which was a bit dry, probably looking for some sun, to bask in the sun. But right after he got to that little dry spot, the leopard got him. How that leopard got there, we don't know. But we just saw a leopard in a flick of a second jump on the back of a crocodile, got rid of the tail, and bit the head right here. And soon after that, he swam with it across again, and he ate him up. Complete crocodile was eaten up by a leopard. So a leopard is a very strong animal, very strong animal. We shouldn't play with it. Very strong. Well, the Rift Valley, one of the 7 wonders of the world, originates from Israel, Jordan, ends up in Mozambique, southern part of Africa. It started going down, or rather sinking, 17 million years ago. It is a very important valley to the entire human race, because this is where human being began. It is known as the cradle of mankind. As you go down towards the Rift Valley in Tanzania, you'll find what we call the Old Uvai Gorge. There's also another prehistoric site where Dr. Louis Leakey, Mary Leakey, the entire Leakey family discovered lots of fossils. And they started discovering lots of fossils in the entire Rift Valley. And that's how they came to learn that the Rift Valley could be where all human race began.
Like the first dance show is explained to you celebration after the killer life. Later, when you get in, I'm going to explain to you more about our culture. So you can see like this is now celebration after killing a lion. And now it's competition dance, special occasion like wedding days, circumcision days. Then young warriors from all over the villages, they have together to see who jump highest. And whoever who jump highest always win more girlfriends. So it's competition dance now. think is the winner.
Jumbo,
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
the winner.
Yeah,
You're the winner. Yeah.
the winner, the champion.
Okay, so I guess from here you can join them.
Okay.
You can see how they split the house. Our houses, they're all made of local branches, grass, and cow dung.
Shuka is
Yeah.
the name of this.
Yeah, it's shuka.
Shuka.
Exactly.
And why is red or orange?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, actually, you can see like I hope when you're coming, you have seen red color is quite popular in Maasai land. And well, actually, red color, it really helps when you're looking after animals. And also, in case of any problem, then we can see each other in a distance. But actually, the patterns like yellow doesn't have any meaning, only red, it has the meaning. Yeah, so that's why you can see like red color is quite popular around here in Maasai community. Because of scaring wild animals away, and also in case of any problem, then we can see each other in a distance.
Yes, another question. You make the houses on a circle? Okay,
Yeah. Actually, you can see like before we see the house, as you can see like in here in the middle, this is normally where we keep all our cows at night. Then we close our main entrance for protection against wild animals. And you see like our house is also in a circle, and the fence is also in a circle to protect against wild animals.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I like people asking questions.
Great.
That's my hobby. These are my two daughters. These are my children.
Hello. Hello. Okay.
But, so well, I mean now you are highly welcome, very much to get in. This is my house, and actually you can see like all houses, they all look similar. As you can see, let me explain first about the house. As you can see, like always in the middle, we normally make fire in here, and we cook here as well too. And you can see like at night we don't have mosquitoes because of the smoke. And these are the little window for ventilation to bring fresh air and take out smoke. Also just behind, always each and every house has got 2 to 3 bedrooms. Like this one has got 3 bedrooms. This is 1 bed for our children. And actually you can see there's another room. We have 2 beds there. So up bed, that's our bed and my wife. And actually that's that's an extra bed in case when you have guests, then they will stay there. And actually you can see like we normally use cowhide as our mattress, and under the bed we put some branches to make the bed comfortable. Also just behind the wall we have a small room for the baby cows, because maybe I didn't explain, because actually small one, baby and big cows, we always keep them separately, because you can see like around here we don't practice any agricultural, or we don't do any cultivations, but we always keep cows, goats and sheep, and we keep them for meat, blood and milk. And actually getting blood from the cow, we don't kill them for blood. We have special people, they know how to draw blood from the cow without killing the cow, always using a bow and arrow, but the arrow is not really sharp like the one we use in hunting. They just make a little bit like this size, and then they try to make sure that when they spear it, an arrow does not go through. Immediately after we draw blood from the cow, then we use fresh cow dung to stop the blood bleeding. You can see like our houses, they're all made of local branches, grass and cow dung. And always women make the houses, and the men, we normally make the fence all around. And they normally take 4 months to make a whole camp like this. Also our houses, the normal lasts for 10 years. Then always after 10 years, we have to change the place, or we have to make the new village. Just because of the branches made from the houses, they might collapse down or they might fall down. So always after 10 years, we have to change the place. And nomadic, we still practice nomadic. We can move from place to place, searching pastures and water for our livestock. But actually, you can see like we quite like the place because our school is 1 kilometer from here. And also where we get water, we have a stream down there. And the stream, it never dry up. So there is always running water. So after 10 years to come, we'll just make our village very close by, and then in 10 years to come, like going and coming. And well, as I explained to you, as I told you before, we have a total of 350 people living in the village. So may I assure you, this is like one family or one blood. So actually we don't intermarry within in the village. We always get married from other villages. And polygamy in our community is still allowed. We are allowed to have more than one wife. And always for the first wife, the parent, they have to choose whom you are going to marry. Then for the second, third, you can choose by yourself. And we also have what we call dowry. We normally give 10 cows for one bride. So we always say more cows, more wives because of the dowry. And you can see like you can see some of the people with the long ears and some they don't. And actually you can see like long ears, it means they have not been to school. But sure, like I myself, I've been to school, thus I don't have the long ears. And because when you go to school, it's not allowed to have the long ears because it takes time to recover, and also it's quite risky. Like when you play like soccer or marathon, someone can cut you. But it was an identification mark to identify between different tribes. But actually, because of people that are starting, everyone go to school nowadays, you can tell you're a Maasai through the gap.
Through the gap in the teeth?
Yeah, the teeth. We take the teeth out. And why they do this one too, you see like 300 years ago, they had a certain breakout of a certain disease. I had it was tetanus. So people that have really become totally sick, so they try to feed with the medicine, no gap through. So they come inside. It's good always for us to have a gap here. If someone becomes sick, then they can feed with the medicine through the gap.
Oh.
Big market. It's a big market.
So we will do slowly.
Yes, Lord.
See something for you.
Okay.
After we try for you. I mean, go slowly to do something nice for you.
Yes, we want to see everything.
Yeah, no problem. Just a
Tem umas coisas legais, né? Essas máscaras aí. Ó,
Vai me que na ver bom. Ninguém que never get
Okay, this end
okay, make it.
Depois dessa dança, nossa próxima parada é na Tanzânia, onde nós continuaremos o nosso safari por lá. Até lá!